Well folks, we're going to have a look at this. I don't know whether it's going to be a 5-minute show and tell or whether we're going to get anything with it. There was a time when every time I bought a box of junk there was one of these in it. An Emperor Ninja. The fact that they appear to be distributed by President puts me off. Well, every time I've seen these, it's been without the case and just a bare board. There's going to be one at the side of it because I pinched a part off it the other day. I think we've got one in one of the sheds, so I know they've got this and two others. But if you remember yesterday, we did the Barracuda GT868 in the same box, kindly passed on to me by the same person. We've got this. They're from 2004. I've actually been able to download a service manual. I've also been able to download the instruction book, which I've gone and printed wrongly. So the pages are upside down because you need to tell the printer you're doing it sideways on. So we've got hello, correct, and so on. So they're a MultiNorm set from 2004. But what has always put me off them, I'll be honest, I've always assumed that they're an illegal set, but they're not. So that's why I've never bothered. There's a note on here and it says DOA, components rusted away. So that's why it may be a short video. I've got a Charman's DM520P6 mic here. Does that fit? I don't know. It's a 6-pin socket. So we'll see. 2004, so these are now 20 years old. At least this one's got a case. It might be I can build up one of the others, but I just think they're one of these sets that I just get this impression that it's the people who like doing illegal modifications get their hands on them and ruin them, if they were ever any good in the first place. So that's been what we've seen. I assumed they were a European, not UK market set. So we've got corrosion here. I'll put the smouldering bat on. Well, one of the things there's two things that have put me off President, and one is that what did President do between UK CB becoming legal in 1981 and about 2010? The answer is gave us the President KP77 base station, which was a conversion of a 22-channel Dutch set into a 40-channel UK set with a 4-watt linear amplifier inside it to turn it from half a watt. And you're very, very lucky to get those to lock on all 40 channels. They're not a good set, and if that's all they were bothered to send us, you can see where I'm going, can't you? Till 2010, when the MultiNorms happened. So he's probably quite right. But we've got an ultrasonic cleaner, we've got chemical cleaners, you know, might be able to do something. So you see, here we are, we've got rework. That isn't rework. There's lots of rework on these, like they've been turned from something else. And, you know, that's kind of what's put me off them. Well, I mean, that's safe enough to switch on our current limited power supply. He says it's dead. Lots of glue gun. So I think what's happened here is the glue they've used has become hygroscopic in a damp environment, which is the kind of environment you find in a vehicle. That capacitor is no good. It's popped its clogs, so it's been overvolted or something. to be honest, the rust on these well, proof of the pudding's in the eating and all that, we'll power it up. I'm not so happy about that one there, but these, it's just the glue I think that's gone hygroscopic. So far it's been really damp, hasn't it? Oh dear, the crystal filter's rusted away. We've got that scrap chassis. Yeah, it's like you've got the auto squelch board as an afterthought. I just don't like all this afterthoughtness. $2071, I don't recognise that as an output transistor. It's SRBP board for 2004, I think it's a poor show. I think there should have been fiberglass before this. But I can't see water damage on this side. So I'm going to have a quick look, see if we can find one of the scrap sets in my pile of scrap junk at the side of me. Well, that didn't take long. There we are. It's lost its socket and its switches and a few things like that, and its knobs. So the scrap one is a newer one than the one we've got there, and if you look, the glue has gone hygroscopic on the capacitors just the same. But what we can do, we can recover this crystal filter which has failed. Yeah, and one leg of the capacitor is soldered to it. So it's just like converted from something else. It's what have we got which hasn't sold well, which we could turn into something else. Just gives me that impression. Anyway, without putting a random filter in, we can actually change the filter for the correct one. And we know which way round that goes because of the solder splodge. So unsolder that one. Get the solder sucker to that. Got to be quick with crystals, they're very easily damaged on soldering. It's that one there. Might be better off using solder braid for this. So that's come out safely. Put that back on the pile for now. What has happened to that? And to be honest, that is the only damp bit. So it's very kind of that viewer to send those in, because I mean I've bought these fair and square, you know, in batches of stuff. So it's nice to be able to fix somebody's gift, and also to use some of the parts I've ended up with so is it, oh, it's 10.695, so it's a ref 10.695 and not an incorrect 10.7. Get one leg soldered. I really don't think surface mount technology and SRBP boards are going to ever be reliable. It always SRBP always tells me they're not expecting something to last more than 7 years. But there we are. We've had the SRBP in some of the in all those 80s CBs, haven't we? And they're still going strong. Well, they are with a bit of service work. Right, so that's put the rusted away crystal filter in. Not expecting for a start we're going to have a power lead on here. We're not really bothered because we like shorting out the crocodile clips. So as a safety precaution, we'll use the speaker on the wall rather than test equipment. Again, this is where it would be useful if the radio has public address feature, because then at least you can try public address and kind of prove whether an eighth of the set actually works. Especially when you've got all this corrosion around here, which, as I say, is on the other chassis too. So we'll see whether this mic's going to work with this. There's a leaflet. Does the leaflet actually tell us anything? Chuck the box on the floor. It'll get swept up when I die. And I just don't know whether this is correct. The pinout is in the instruction book. On an upside down page. So what have we got? Well, it's got up down, hasn't it, on the proper mic. So pin 1 is transmitted audio, and it's supposed to be. Pin 5 is shield, and it is supposed to be. Pin 2 is receive, and it's supposed to be. Pin 3 is transmit, and it's supposed to be. So it looks like it's wired correct. Yeah, I look at this, oh, it's a really modern set, and then when you work it out, it's 20 odd years old. I'd better change that capacitor first. I nearly forgot. We don't magic smoke on switch on. So if that's 16 volt rated, the power above 16 volts being applied. question is, have we got any capacitors? Here, have I got to go for a walk? I've got to go for a walk. So this is a Nikon one, it's 25 volt rated, so it's bigger. Anyway, it fits in the hole, so that's even better. Right, so I'm going to set the power supply for about 500 milliamps initially at 12 volts. So I think we're as powered up, we're connected up as we can be. Making sure the set's off, auto squelch is off. Power supply on, 12 volts selected, current limit. And it's dead. So before we open the service manual, there's some quick things I can check. Have we got power up to the on and off switch? Assuming it's negative earth, I think it's too modern to be floating. So the power's not going somewhere. Have we got a burnt track somewhere? Turn the power off. Get rid of some nasty flux there. I'll just go for some possible dry joints. Right, well I can't see any burnt tracks, but there are definitely some dry joints at the back owing to corrosion. So have we got no negative? I've got no positive. That's the next question. So I've discovered is there's a choke on the other one. I've taken that choke out off the other one, so the protection diode isn't the one I was looking at, it's here. And you can see the meter, we've got power there, we've got power there, so we have got it to the choke. So what's that? We've got power there as well. Oh, that's so close to that. See whether we've got power at the switch. Now we know we've got power there. we've got power there. We've not got the display lighting up, so looks like there's a regulator to the CPU not getting anywhere. So there is power to the set, and you can actually hear a switch on thump. In fact, we've got transmit. Let's put picture in picture on. There you go. 27142. Let's just see if I change channel blindly, if it changes. 27148, 142, 144, 144. No, it doesn't do anything. Why don't I press the 9 button? That's changed. No, it hasn't. So it's doing something. I'll pause the video and have a look further.